Let's talk with your host, Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, all right here. Ooh, Simply Straight Talk.
You're listening to the Simply Straight Talk podcast with your host, Reggie. And I am the one and only Amber, here to bring you the topic of the day. Should I speak up or shut up? Sometimes you can get caught up in the middle of other people's drama, cheating spouses, dark history, and who knows what else. Let's get this conversation on the table. Reggie, take it away.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Simply Straight Talk. And as always, you got to give props for Amber for throwing out that great introduction. Now, today we are talking about whether you should speak up or shut up. Now, this is a very interesting question, and I want to present this to everybody because there are a lot of times in life when we get into situations or where situations will find us where we either have the option to speak up, say what we feel, give our thoughts and input, or just be quiet or shut up and just listen and say nothing. Now, sometimes either way can work out for the best, or sometimes either way can work out for the worst. And what I mean by that is that there are occasions when you can speak up and you can be the lifesaver of the day, or you can be quiet and be the lifesaver of the day because you just listen. You didn't say anything. But there are times when you speak up and all you know what breaks loose. And then there are times when you can be quiet and you are drawn further into the situation because you didn't say anything. And it doesn't mean that you was involved. It's just that sometimes when you're quiet, you just like casually get sucked into this. And it can be as simple as somebody saying, well, you know what? I told Julia about this and Julia didn't say anything. And, and Julia can be sitting there like, wait a minute. I have nothing to do with this. This is your problem. You came to me telling me about this situation. It wasn't my place to get involved. But unfortunately, this is all a part of life. This is where life takes us sometimes. Sometimes it can lead to a huge divide between friends and family. Sometimes saying the right thing or not saying nothing can bring people together. So that's what we're going to talk about. But let me ask you, have you ever been in a situation to where you had to really think about, should you speak up or should you shut up? And when you do think about that, what is it that determines whether or not you decide to speak up or if you decide just to shut up and let it be? But let's give some example of some situations, okay? Now, let's say, for example, this could be in your personal life, with friendships, on the job, whatever. But let's just say that you know somebody is planning something against somebody. So let's say for work, you know somebody is intentionally going to leave out some information that somebody needs to finish a project, or they're not going to pass on a message or something. And the other person, by not having that information, is going to look bad. I know that sounds petty, but we do have petty people like that. What if you know that you have a manager or a VP that simply doesn't like somebody and everything in their power is being done to make that person look bad or to fire that person? Do you say something? Because it's not directly affecting you, but it is unjustly affecting somebody else. So is that a situation that you feel you should speak up or should you shut up? Now, some people may say, well, that sort of depends on the person. Do I know the person? Am I friends with the person? Do I get along with the person? So do all those questions come into play if you know someone is going to be done wrong and is, and the way they're going about it is wrong? You know what I'm saying? We got to ask ourselves these questions. All right, now let's say, what if you got a good friend, right? And what if you witness, say, this is a male or female, what if you witness, they got a girlfriend or they got a boyfriend, but you see them out there flirting, or maybe you catch them cheating with somebody else and they don't know you saw them. Do you go back and tell the person like, hey, I saw your girl or I saw your boy out there doing this. I just think you should know. Now, I know that's a dangerous one. That is dangerous. Because personally, if I was in a relationship and somebody was saying, if I'm in a relationship and one of my boys or somebody I know see that the person I'm with is out there obviously flirting with somebody else or definitely engaged in another relationship with somebody else, she's messing with somebody else while she's messing with me, yes, if I'm really into the girl, it's gonna hurt. But if you are my friend, right? And now I don't label everybody as a friend. Okay. If you're my friend and we're rolling tight, I expect you to come to me and say, look, man, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's my homeboy or my homegirl, I expect you to come to me and say, listen, this is what's going on. I've seen her with this person doing this, this, and this. Now, I know everybody doesn't want that because some people, you might figure I'm looking out for you and I'm going to tell you the truth of what's going on because I don't want nobody to hurt you. But that person, some people are so into who they're with that they're blind. They can't see. So by you going to them and trying to say, listen, your girl cheating, your man cheating, they'll turn on you, start talking about, oh, you just want to get with them. You just, it just turns into a whole big thing. So it does make you question, should I have spoken up or should I have just kept my mouth shut and just shut up about the whole situation? But you don't want to see your friend used. You don't want to see your friend taken advantage of. But it comes back to the question, should I speak up or shut up in a situation like that? How would you handle the Simply Straight Talk family? What would you do if you saw your best friend's girlfriend or boyfriend cheating with somebody else? How would you handle that? How would you handle it? And you knew it. I mean, you absolutely for a fact knew that they was flirting with somebody else or they was messing around with somebody else. How would you handle it? Would you tell them? Or would you say, you know what? They need to find out on their own. Or would you try to be discreet about it? Like if you know that they're going to this particular hotel or this particular restaurant each day, would you just take your friend, but listen, let's go grab some lunch and just happen to be in that area so they can see it for themselves? But do you count that as speaking up non-verbally? Or do you count that as just an accidental meeting? You just planned it that way. Because what happens if it comes to find out that they know you knew about it and you took them there without giving them forewarning? You see what I'm saying? So that brings back to the question, should I speak up or should I just keep my mouth shut? Okay, let's go with another situation. Okay, you got a friend or family member who's having tension with somebody else in the family, or maybe having tension with a friend. Okay, now you know why your friend doesn't like the other person. You know why. You know the reason why they don't want to fool with them. You know the reason why they don't want to be involved with them. So how do you handle that? Do you speak up or shut up in this situation? Do you pull your friend aside and say, listen, this is why they don't like you. This is why they don't vibe with you. And because now it may come back to their saying, well, oh, so you feel that way too? It's like, no, I don't feel that way. But I think y'all just got a misunderstanding or whatever the situation is. You know the reason one person doesn't like another person. And then one person is always complaining about it. Do you try to remedy the situation to bring them together? Or do you just kind of let them float apart? Just let it be what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people get in these situations and you getting in the middle can kind of stir things up because now, you know, the other person may say, well, yeah, you knew why I didn't like them, but I didn't ask you to go back and tell them because now you're getting into trust. It's like I entrusted you with my feelings about a certain situation, but you, on the other hand, took what I told you and ran back to this person. I don't care to be friends with them. I don't care to fix the situation. So it goes back. Should I speak up or shut up? Because you're caught in the middle. You're friends with both people. And you understand that the relationship between the three of you can work as friends, but nobody is talking to nobody. If they just talk, you know it can be fixed. So do you speak up or do you shut up? What do you do? Now, let's also look at another situation. Okay? Somebody on the job or somebody in the neighborhood is talking about you. They bad mouthing you. Don't really know you, but they running their mouth about you. There ain't really no harm coming from it, but they just, every time, you just seem to notice that certain people are saying, hey, this person seems to don't like you. This person seems to be talking about you or bad mouthing you. What do? Do you confront them and ask them why? Or do you just let it go? Do you speak up about it or do you shut up? Because you got to ask yourself, is it worth it? What is the ultimate goal of me approaching this person and speaking up? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you to be a punk by no means, because sometimes there are people in this world that feel like they can say whatever they want to say. Because I'm going to tell you something. This is what annoys me to most. And this happens a lot in the workplace, because you got a lot of people that if you see them on the street, they would try to speak to you like your friends, like your buddies. They'll try to talk to you. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? But on the job now, at work, all of a sudden they got a lot of courage and they got a lot of heart, and they feel they can say and do what they want to say because they got the mentality of, well, you know what? I'm at work. He don't want to lose his job. She don't want to lose his job. They ain't gonna step to me. And some people are really like that. If it's at the job, they feel protected because they feel like you don't want to lose your income. You don't want to lose what's keeping you a roof over your head and paying your bills. So they get a little bit more bolder at work, but outside of work, they get quiet like a little mouse and run hide in a corner. In the words of Ludacris, say it like you said it in the booth. Okay? But so do you speak up or shut up? I mean, what is a situation that you guys feel that someone could say something and you could be like, you know what? Whatever. Let them talk. In that case, you're just saying, I'm going to shut up about it. It ain't even worth my time. But when is it that when someone starts talking about you that you now feel like, okay, it's time for us to have a face-to-face because evidently they want to see me? So when is that time for you? Now, me personally, people are going to talk about you regardless. That's just my thoughts. That's my opinion. People are going to talk about you. They're going to say what they want to say. They're going to make up stuff, whatever. My thing is, if you want to talk about me and you doing it behind my back, I already know you don't have the guts to say anything. So most likely I'm not really going to even deal with you like that. I'm most likely just going to feed you one words or just not deal with you at all. That's all it is to it. But when you start talking about a person's kids, or maybe somebody that's sick, or you got somebody that's making lies and false accusations about somebody, now that may change it from, I'm no longer going to shut up about this. I'm about to speak up, and when I see you, I'm going to show out. But let's not take it that far. I am not condoning violence. Let's get that out there. Let's make that perfectly clear. I am not condoning any violence at all. At all. I'm just saying that people will learn, and if they know how to push your buttons, they're going to do that. They're going to do whatever they can to push your buttons. They're going to do whatever they can to try to get you in that mode. Because when they feel like they push your button and they've gotten you on fight mode, then they feel like they've gotten the upper hand. They feel like now, they can punish you somehow or whatever. And it's not going to be about fighting. It's going to be about getting you fired, getting you arrested, making people feel like, oh, yeah, they're right. They are an angry person, or they do got an attitude. So y'all know how that go. Come on. Y'all mean to tell me nobody here has been through that? Nobody here has dealt with that? If you haven't, you got to be young and have not lived your life, because I'm telling you, people are going to talk about you, and you're always going to be in the situation of, should I speak up or should I shut up? And it's tough. It's tough. It is a tough choice to make at times, and how to handle it, how to go about it. But you know what? We're all grown. We all grown. All right, y'all. It's about time to take a break. We will be right back and we're going to dig a little bit deeper into this. And we're going to talk about the explosions that can come from speaking up or shutting up and how you can maybe implement some things that may work for you, some questions you could probably ask yourself before you really make the decision to speak up or shut up. Because believe it or not, it's not good to always shut up about situations, and it's not good to always speak up. So let's see if we can end this show in the next segment by telling you how to do that. All right, we'll be right back. Keep it tuned right here on Simply Straight Talk. This is your host, Reggie, and we're going to be right back. Like I said, we're going to discuss this a little bit more.
This is Simply Straight Talk with your host, Reggie, bringing the conversation straight to you.
Hey, are you looking for some great music, upbeat and with a positive voice? Well, the song I Stand With You is exactly what you need. This timeless song has a pop version sung by Audrey Carmel. And a reggae version sung by General Steele, now known as Revelation.
Now I know some days you may feel blue, Lord. Trust in your greatness to see you through.
These songs are now available on iTunes and other digital platforms for download. Don't miss out. Get your copy today.
Give life your best, and I know.
We're back with the conversation starter and the voice that works harder. Your host, Reggie.
Hey, what's going on, Simply Straight Talk family? And we are back. We are back. And I want to give you my big thank you and appreciation for hanging in there and coming back, because you know what? We want to finish up this discussion. Today, we were talking about, do you speak up or do you shut up? And when we're asked that question, we're talking about when you get into situations, you know, everybody has drama. But what happens when you get pulled into people's drama and all of a sudden, you know, either people want you to say something, they're telling you something because they want advice, or they want you to go and deliver a message to somebody else. We also had some scenarios we went over, you know, some stuff dealing with the family, some stuff dealing with friends, girlfriend and boyfriend, on the job, because like we said, in life, there is always going to be situations to where either you can speak up and say what you feel, give your input, or you can shut up, be quiet, and just kind of listen to the person. Because understandably, sometimes a person just needs to vent. They're not necessarily looking for an answer. They just want to vent. And that's where, you know, just kind of shutting up, you know, kind of helps you in the situation. But so basically, that's what we kind of went over in the first half. Now we're going to dig a little bit deeper into the whole thing of whether or not you should speak up or shut up. Okay. Now, first off, I want to ask you something. When you are talking to someone and they are, you know, presenting something to you and you are asking yourself, man, should I say something or should I just not say anything? I don't even want to get involved. So that brings you to the question that you need to ask now. If you're dealing with a situation where you're asking yourself, should I speak up or should I shut up? Ask yourself this: is the person going to be receptive to my response? That's what you first need to ask. Is the person going to be receptive? Because it makes no difference for you to spend 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes or an hour trying to explain somebody or convince somebody of something that they're absolutely not listening to. They're not listening to your reasoning. They're not listening to your response. But now you're feeling like you're getting tense, you're getting upset. They're not trying to hear you because they just want you to agree with them. And you're trying to play devil's advocate. You're like, listen, I understand your point, but I see their point. And this is where the two of you are having a miscommunication. And they're not listening to you. They're not listening at all. So you need to ask yourself this: is the person going to be receptive to my response? If the person is not going to be receptive, that may be an indication that you probably just need to be quiet. Just be quiet. Okay. Now, here's another point that you need to look at, or another question you need to ask yourself before you start speaking up. Is the person that you're talking to so angry and so argumentative that you even trying to continue the conversation is pointless. Because have you ever had to talk to somebody like that? You know, they brought something to you. They're asking you and they're telling you about it, but they're so angry and they're so argumentative about the situation that really they even start to argue with themselves in the conversation that they're having with you. So you're trying to figure out, like, are you talking to me? Was there a third person, a ghost sitting here or something? Because you have to realize that a person that is so angry in their thoughts and they're angry in the way that they're so argumentative, you know, you sitting here trying to explain something to them, you're not going to get it across. You're just not. You're not going to get them to understand, because right now they're so emotional and their emotions are just all over the place that you're not going to be able to get them to really hear what you're saying to the point to where they can say logically, okay, this is a better option. Okay. Now, the other thing you need to look at is this. Ask yourself, if I speak up, what is it am I trying to accomplish by speaking up about this situation or speaking up to this person? What is my end goal here? Am I looking to bridge the gap, or do I just want to say what's on my mind? Or am I looking to find a resolution to make things peaceful? I mean, what is the end game here? Are you looking to form a partnership, a friendship, a relationship? You know what I'm saying? Or do you just want to clear the air? You need to have a clear understanding of what you're trying to accomplish when you decide that you're going to speak up about a situation. What is your end goal? What do you want the end result to be between you and that person, you and that group, you and that manager, you and that supervisor? What is the end result? You need to know that before you even approach them. You need to understand what you're trying to accomplish, because you need to convey that to them to make sure that the both of you are attempting to do the same thing or want the same thing. Now, when it comes to silence, you've all heard the saying that sometimes silence is golden. And you're right. It is. Sometimes silence is golden, because I have been in situations to where I have heard a person come and talk to me. I've heard a person say something. And then so I'm just listening to them. I'm not saying anything. I'm just listening. You know, you get the occasional head nod, or you go like, okay, yeah. You know, the little stuff like that, so they can know that you're actually listening. And to tell you the truth, they really are just talking so much that they're answering their own questions. You know, they're complaining about something, but they got the answer within their own complaint. And I'm listening to them. I'm like, okay, you're saying all this, but in reality, you're answering your own question. You already know the answer, but you're so emotionally involved that you're not hearing your own thought process, which is telling you the proper way to handle the situation. And it's occasions like that is when once they finish talking, they got in a little break, you just sort of highlight their point to make them feel like it was their idea, which it was. You know, if somebody's going off about, you know, my girlfriend is always upset about this and upset about that, and, you know, she feels like I don't do enough around the house and da-da-da-da-da. And if they start saying, well, you know what, I just don't have time because I'm always at work and I never get time with the guys, and then I'm playing with the band. You know, I like playing basketball. And then you just sort of highlight it to them like, hey, well, you know what? I hear what you're saying, because it sounds like you're spending a lot of time, you know, playing basketball, you know, you're hanging with the guys, which is all fun stuff, you know, and she's your wife. And sometimes it'll click in that person's mind like, oh, yeah, well, maybe I could fix it. That's what you want, but it ain't always what you get. But sometimes a person will go through so much and say so much that they're answering their own question. They have the solution to their problem is within their own complaining, and they don't even hear it because they're so emotionally attached. And the other thing is, and I think this is really important, I think, because some people feel like when something is brought to them, they have to speak up right now. They got to say it right now. They can't wait. They got to say it. They got to answer it. Don't be ashamed to say, hey, you know what? Let me think about this before I answer, because I want to give you the best advice. You know, I want to make sure I process this so I can tell you the right thing, you know, because I don't want to give you the wrong information, or I don't want to give you bad information, you know, because I really have listened to what you said. But let me think about this a little bit, because I really want to give you some valid, logical solutions. And sometimes we hear what a person's saying, and if we're friends with them, we're so close with them in friendship or whatever the relationship is that we're only hearing one side. And because we don't want to offend our friends, we may end up saying something or giving them advice based on our respect for them as a friend, not in respect to the fact that, hey, look, you're wrong in this situation. Hey, in this case, I think you can handle it better. But that just requires that sometimes you take a seat back. Hey, let's think about this. Let's go grab a bite to eat. Let's go grab a soda or something like that. Then we'll pick this back up. And it gives you a little chance to think about it before you give a response that could be detrimental to somebody's relationship, family, so let's don't be afraid to say, let me think about this a little bit. All right, guys, it's about time for us to take another break, and we will be right back here on Simply Straight Talk. I hope you guys are enjoying the show, and I really appreciate all the love and support each week. I am loving it, and I am loving you guys more. All right, so you guys hang in there, and don't forget, the subject of today is speak up or shut up. Like I said, I think everybody has been in these situations. Everybody has been a part of this. All this stuff that's going on. So now we're going to talk about it a little bit more. So we're not done right here on Simply Straight Talk.
Free your mind, free your voice right here on Simply Straight Talk.
RM Viaging is a company based on life's journey and sharing life lessons with the world in the form of laughter and reflection, inspiring people to go after their dreams and not giving up on life. RM Viaging creates inspirational music and motivational speeches designed to motivate all age groups. Visit our website at www.rmviaging.com to hear samples of our music. You will also find motivational articles on our blog page titled New Life, New Mind blog. We also have a weekly podcast hosted by Reggie called Simply Straight Talk, all on our website at www.rmviaging.com.
We're back with the conversation starter and the voice that works harder. Your host, Reggie.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Simply Straight Talk. This is the final word of the show. And today we were talking about, should I speak up or should I shut up? Now, this is a very tough question because a lot of factors will determine whether or not you speak up or shut up about a situation. But I really hope some of the suggestions that we discussed during this show help you to make a wise decision regarding when you speak up about issues or, drama that's going on and when you remain quiet. And I do firmly believe that this is something that sometimes when you feel you're winning by speaking up, you're losing. And when you feel by being quiet, by shutting up about certain situations, you can be a loser or winner. So ultimately, it's really up to you to evaluate the situation and make the determination of, this is something that I need to speak up about, and this is something that I should just remain quiet. Now, I want you to understand something. It is very important that you do sort of hold on to the questions that I presented to you in the second segment, because I'm asking you to look at a person's behavior and also determine, is this person going to be receptive to anything I try to communicate to them? If they're angry and they're aggravated, most likely they're not trying to hear you, especially if they just keep rambling on and on and on. It might be best just to pick up the situation and have the conversation at another time. And then sometimes it's best just to listen to the person, let them talk, let them answer their own question. You just highlight little bits and pieces by, hey, well, you said this. What do you think about this? And see if that works. But ultimately, you have to look out for you. You got to look out for you and be careful because a lot of emotions go into this. People value friendships and relationships differently. In the beginning of the show, we talked about boyfriend and girlfriend. If you caught, your best friend's boyfriend or girlfriend out there with someone else, should you say something? Should you not say something? Because we've seen it where, you are the good friend and you're trying to help that person out. and that person turns on you for telling them the truth that their boyfriend or girlfriend is out there cheating or flirting with other people. So you got to make a wise decision. You know the people you keep in your circle. You know their mentality. You know how they will handle a situation. And sometimes, like I said, you may not always be able to tell them, but sometimes if you just accidentally show up, hey, what can I say? If they see it for themselves, they can believe what they want to believe. But you know what? Here's the thing. Regardless of whether you speak up or shut up, do your best to try to prevent anything from escalating into violence. Now, I want to say this. I want to put this disclaimer out there. If you know that somebody is being hurt or harmed physically, their life is in danger, then by all means, you need to speak up. If you know that somebody is getting beaten, a woman or man is in their house, or a child is being abused, then yes, something needs to be said, because that type of thing we shouldn't tolerate. If you know someone broke inside somebody's house, stole their stuff, we need to speak up. We need to speak up. You got video footage, you got camera footage, send an anonymous video to the police department. But there are things when you definitely need to speak up, and things when you just can actually say, you know what, there's not going to be an end result from this. And I don't see an end result for this. So if you're dealing with something that's petty, do you really need to speak up about it? If someone doesn't like your cake, someone doesn't like your football team, or you think a singer is great and they think they're horrible, why are you going to argue about that? Now, no offense to Beyonce. A lot of people love Beyonce. Me personally, I am not the Beyonce fan of her music. I'm just not. It doesn't mean I'm a disgrace or I hate her. It's just that my opinion is I don't think Beyonce's music and singing doesn't appeal to me. But we all have our own views. Hey, but you know what? Stay smart, stay wise, speak up when you need to, and learn to listen. You can help in both ways. Thank you for watching the show today. This is Reggie. And as always, I appreciate all the love and support. And don't forget, we are having giveaways. So if you subscribe to the show, you can be a winner. Thanks again, guys. Love ya.
Thank you for tuning in to today's show. Be sure to subscribe for more motivational topics based on real-life conversations, and don't forget to rate, review, and share our show so we can continue to bring you the best in real-life conversations. Join us next week right here on Simply Straight Talk.